Hello, Alyssa J. Dillon here. Today we are talking about CEO time mastery. Our objective in this training is to empower CEOs like yourself to optimize your time for maximum effectiveness in leadership, client success, sales, and marketing. I hope that you, as a CEO, realize that your time is the most valuable asset you have. It is not money, it is nothing other than time, and mastering your time management to align directly with the success of your business, the satisfaction of your clients, and the health of your personal life is the most valuable thing you can do for yourself. This training is going to provide you with the tools that align your activities, your daily activities, with your core values to focus and create a meaningful relationship with your community, to create excellence and driving results swiftly. So, how do we align your time with your mission and values? Well, first of all, you have to understand your mission. So you can do that by building out your own mission statement, your own core values. If you haven't done that yet, you can see the training on building your own mission statement and core values. These core values, once established, are going to help you realize how to take aligned and inspired action on a daily basis. Some of the examples I give of our core training, our core values are money, love, speed, right? So everything that happens in my company needs to be done swiftly with action. I don't believe in taking our time. I don't believe in taking our time to make decisions. We make decisions and we deal with the actions and the outcomes of those decisions. If it was the wrong decision, I'm okay with that, right? I'm okay with making a poor decision. At least we made it quickly. We collected the data so we can move forward and we'll make a different decision moving forward. So we identify how each aspect of your role as the CEO contributes to the mission. What does this mean? It means that as the CEO, your role, every role that you play has to be contributing to the mission. That means your role as the CEO. Do you think that your role as the CEO is contributing to the mission when you're sitting down reconciling bank statements? Or do you think that your role as the CEO can be contributing to the mission when you're out building relationships with potential clients, right? So where should your role be focused on? Embracing core values in daily activities. So exactly what I was talking about here, right? Do your daily activities align with the core values of your company? And practicing executive level communication in all exchanges. And if you don't know what executive level communication is, you're in luck. I have a training on that as well. So let's get into it. The art of delegation and empowerment. Let's delegate for efficiency. How can you learn to identify tasks that can be delegated? And I don't mean just delegate, but I mean transferring them completely. When you sit down at your desk every single day and you begin to do specific tasks, I want you to think about, what do I never want to do again, right? What things should you never ever do again? What can I begin to say, I never want to look at this again. I want to never talk about this again. So I don't just delegate a task, but I transfer the task. So a great example of this would be a team email, right? So when I look at the team email that is maybe the help@alyssajdillon.com, which doesn't actually exist. Maybe it's info@mybookkeepingbusiness.com, right? And that's where you get people emailing you that need help. Are you the one that's going in there answering all the questions from potential clients or your current clients? Or could you transfer the task of handling all those clients' questions to somebody else in your company, and then decide to never go back into that email again, right? To transfer the task. I never do bookkeeping. That's another thing. And I've stated that I never do bookkeeping. So could you officially say, I never do bookkeeping again? I'm never going to do bookkeeping in my company anymore. And that means that you need to have a bookkeeper that is going to be the A player that takes charge and says, I will handle all the bookkeeping so you will never have to do it again. And when they're in a place where there's too much bookkeeping, that means you have to hire another bookkeeper. That doesn't mean that you take back the bookkeeping or you start doing bookkeeping when they become overwhelmed. It means you need to evaluate, why is there bookkeeping that is not getting done, right? Do we have too much work to do? Are we at a place where we need to hire more, right? What's going on, right? So you make a statement, you declare it. I've transferred the task. I'll never do bookkeeping again in this company because I am a CEO. And that does not move. It doesn't swing the biggest doors. It doesn't move us forward when I sit down to do bookkeeping. I'm going to touch on this again. Employ the money, love, speed principle and prioritize delegation. Visualize, decide, delegate, release, and never take it back. Once you've decided you'll never do bookkeeping, you'll never do it again, right? Never do it again. So visualize what your company needs to look like. Visualize the work you want to do. Decide who needs to do it, delegate it, and release it. Never take it back. Leadership through empowerment. Foster leadership qualities within your team. How can you do this? It starts with trusting your team. In order to have a team that trusts you, you must trust them. Are you the type of employer who is standing over the desk of your employees, who is breathing down their necks saying, what are you doing? Did you do this? Are you managing their clock, clocking in, clocking out? Or have you created an empowerment plan for your team members to take charge and delegate the task and say, here's the task. This is when you need it done. This is why it's important. Here's my expectations. And this is the outcome that this task is going to create, right? That's it. If those things have been communicated, again, this goes back to executive level communication. Whenever you're working with a team member, you need to communicate. What is the task? When you need it done by? Why it's important? What are your expectations around it? And then what outcomes are at stake here, right? What outcomes are at stake? When that is done, your team members will not be questioning anything. They shouldn't be questioning why they need it done. They shouldn't be questioning when they need it done by or why it's important. They will have buy-in. They'll be bought into the idea that, okay, I have to get this done. I have to get it done on time, because if I don't get, so-and-so's accounting done, bookkeeping done, reconciliations done, then that client will be upset and we won't collect the cash we need to collect in order to reach our goals, right? You can do this using some sort of system like Monday, Asana, ClickUp to delegate to your team. I personally use Monday. If it's not in a project management system, it doesn't exist. Use a project management system. I personally love Monday. I think it's great. I can show you a little more on how to use that in a follow-up training on how we manage our team, what they're doing, the tasks and the task management how they can follow task management using Monday. But remember, if it's not in a task management system, the task does not exist. This is a great way to work with team members so there's never a question of what they need to get done. Structuring and prioritizing your time. Time blocking. So time blocks. I'm going to show you how to do this with time blocking for your weekly focus on SEO, time management, deep work, self-care, client success, sales, and marketing. You need to make time in your week for all of these areas. So think SEO time, deep work, self-care, client success, sales, and marketing. Learn how to prioritize and protect these time blocks. I think of my calendar like a contract. Once I've decided that this is where the time is going, and once I've decided that this is what I'm doing during that time block, I am protecting it. It is sacred. If I don't have my word, what else do I have? High impact activity focus. Differentiate between high impact and low impact activities. Are you doing low impact activities still? If you are, these are things you should be delegating, right? So you need to differentiate while you're working. Am I doing low impact activities or high impact activities? And am I spending my time focused on low impact activities? A lot of us, we talk about how busy we are, but in the bigger picture of things, we're busy doing low impact activities like checking our email 8,000 times a day, looking at our phone 8,000 times a day, right? And I have an activity for you to help you see, am I doing high impact activities or low impact activities? Realign your schedule to prioritize these actions that yield the highest return on investment. You will get your highest return on investment in everything you do when you realign your life, your schedule to prioritize actions that are actually going to move you forward. These are money-making activities, not, hiding behind your computer reconciling bank accounts. Again, enhancing communication for efficiency. Executive communication means streamlining your communication to be clear, concise, and actionable. Creating templates and protocols for common communication scenarios. Optimizing communication channels. Set clear guidelines for how and when team members should communicate with you. Utilize technology to manage and streamline communications. And make sure that all your notifications are off. When you are ready to communicate, that is when you communicate, and you don't communicate in between those times. When you want to communicate with your clients is when you communicate. This means your notifications are off. This means you check your emails during the time that you have allotted to check your emails. This means you're on calls when the calls are scheduled on your calendar, when you've decided to schedule those calls. This means that you're communicating with your team members through the channels that you have chosen. They're not messaging you, texting you, calling you at all times, but you have chosen a time slot in the morning on a daily basis to communicate with your team members to go over, daily needs. Finally, embracing radical responsibility, personal time management accountability, right? So we're going to introduce some tools and methods to keep yourself accountable for your time. We're going to do that next. And we're going to establish daily and weekly check-ins with yourself and your mentors. You can do this within this community. And I want you also to embrace this same time management and time audit to track your time and track your team's time to help focus your team on their time and get the results that you want, right? Implement a culture of transparency with shared calendars and progress tracking. So everyone really can embrace this radical responsibility around how you're managing your time, and think about being a vulnerable leader around this. Am I being vulnerable with my team and sharing with them, look at all the things I'm working on right now. I know that I shouldn't be working on all of these things. How do you guys think that you could help me, and show me what you guys are working on? How can we support each other, right? And have them be vulnerable with you and let them know that you all are allowed to be vulnerable. So by sharing your calendars and sharing progress that you're making on different projects, on different clients' work, this is going to help create a culture of transparency so everyone knows who has time to work on what. And your team will also, if you have an A team, players that really, really want to see the best for your company, they're not going to want to see you work hard. That's going to be really important. And you're going to notice that. They're going to say, oh my gosh, you're working way too hard. I want to take some of this stuff off your plate. And it's going to be your job to allow them to do that. So I hope this is super valuable to you. On to the next module.